Of social media posts, Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko now claims he was in a drunken stupor before signing away key functions of the county to the national government. He wasn't signing, he claims. Unnamed people inside State House served him alcohol, which disoriented his mental faculties.
I think it's not of, it was of better quality, but Mr. Speaker said that is what it is. Mr. Ogada, what was that particular clip speaking to? Very briefly.
Mr. Speaker, what I see is a sober person sitting comfortable and signing a document in front of you and His Excellency the President. And I hope you will not confirm to us that he was actually drunk when you are standing behind him.
In terms of the words, I think I know it wasn't very clear.
Yes.
And I think that's why there may be, but we can park that for now. Let's go to paragraph 48, kindly.
The governor was, has always been unavailable, even before charged in the law courts and barred from accessing office. In the earlier days, it can't be confirmed that he was conducting his activities from his home based in Machakos, which is outside the jurisdiction of the county of Nairobi, and basically was elected to represent the people of Nairobi, but he was conducting their affairs from Moa, which is outside the county.
So and what is the violation?
Refer to video number 4.
And as we refer, what is the violation in terms of gazettement? I can see you've indicated gazetted county boundaries.
It is outside the gazetted county boundaries.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with your kind permission, video number 4. There are brief videos that are remaining. Video number 4.
From a neighboring one. You see, Mike Sonko has turned into a stay-at-home governor. His palatial home, etched atop one of Manzoni's scenic hills in Machakos, is now more than just a residence. It is an office as well, from where he runs the capital's operations. On Monday, Nairobi's county executive members trooped to the private firm to hold a cabinet meeting. It is a
Thank you. So that speaks to itself evident. We can go to paragraph 50 of your statement.
The governor has, on unaccountable occasions, violated Article 73 and 75 of the Constitution and Section 8 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 on public trust, where he has constantly used his position to abuse public trust in county government by persistent use of abusing, embarrassing, inappropriate, and unprintable words which undermines and greatly demeans the office.
So what do you have to demonstrate that?
Video 6.
Mr. Speaker, sir, video 6, with your permission.
Bila kita nani? Kuna bili ya kule kwa shamba, kingi amelima mpaka kabisa. Hiyo mimi sio, mimi nakula kutoka mayini. Ni upeleka kwa ile wakati unashika wewe kwenda. Wewe usilisema wakati unashika wewe wakati unashika wewe bwana somea mimi bana. Wacha ujinga shida gani? Mimi sina bili yako na kama hapo kwako hata sirudi hapo ushenzi wewe. Kwenda wewe kumbavu. Unapokuja yangu. Unapeleka mahewa huko Dandora ni makata kule unasema unasema nini? Wewe kwenda pale somea mimi. Mimi rafiki yako pale somea mimi. Wewe kwenda kumbavu. Wewe ni kumbavu kwenda kabisa. Shida zinaisha na shida gani? Shida gani nakuwa? Shida gani nakuwa naye? Shida gani mimi nakuwa naye? Wewe usisomee bwana. Mimi sikusomea lakini usinisomee mimi, wewe usinisomee.
So kindly explain what you can hear and what you know about that video.
Mr. Speaker, that's basically about the language, the governor who should be setting a good example to the citizens of this county. And in that clip, you will realize that one Honorable Kalembe Ndile anasema wewe sio mwewe unapewa kuku ya bure. See that kind of a thing. He was claiming that the governor refused to pay him for the food he has been consuming in the same place.
So we can go to paragraph number 54 as we wind up. Paragraph number 54. What do you speak generally about that paragraph?
Honorable Speaker, it is in the public domain that the Honorable Governor was once convicted at the Mombasa Law Courts in criminal case number 1675/1997, charge failure to attend court. That was Mbuvi Gideon Kioko. And number 2, it was charged on case number 1727/1996, charge failure to attend court. The other one is case number 1584/2000, charge of obtaining money by false pretense under the name Mike Norwal. Number 4, 2464/2000, charge conspiracy to defraud in the name of Michael Muoki. And the last one is on 630/98, sentenced and committed to imprisonment in Shimo Latewa under the prison number in Mombasa. It is also on record that the governor admitted he escaped from lawful custody following his admission at the Coast General Store. That escape could only be unlawful.
Yes, what do you have to demonstrate on that particular issue?
Video number 10.
Mr. Speaker, sir, that's the last video number 10.
High school. After that, mambo dili ya mashamba, nikaenda Shimo la Tewa prison. I was a leader for ordinary block remand prison, a leader there.
I'm sorry.
I used to supervise how uji was being distributed on bins.
Where?
Yes.
You were in charge of...
I went to Nasoleria prison. I was a leader of C block. They're listening, even the prison commanders.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that particular bragging post by the governor?
Mr. Speaker, based on the evidences that we are able to see, we can clearly see that the governor is used to being in custody, and basically it is nothing strange to him, and I hope that is not the best of examples that we need to set to our children. And the only honorable thing that we will request this honorable house is to help and save Nairobians so we can have focused leadership.
So I'll refer you to, that is the document on the affidavits. You can look at it.
Yes.
Kindly speak to that.
Yeah.
Which page are you looking at? Oh, it's not paginated. Just refer to
This.
it is.
This is a document dated the 1st of October 2010 from the Office of President, Vice President, Minister of Home Affairs. Kenya
Which
Prisons.
date?
1st October 2010.
1st October 2010. Yes?
Yes.
So read for us.
Confidential report on ex-committee prisoner Mbuvi Gideon Kioko. The above referred person was a prisoner at this institution during the period between 2000 and 2001, specifically as a convicted prisoner and a remand prisoner. From our archives, we have been able to compile the person's records at this institution as given below. True certified copies of the record are enclosed herein as well. Yes. So, date of escape, I can see from that record, date of escape from Shimolatewa prison is the 16th, 4th, 1998.
Is the date of escape of who and from where?
Of Mike Mbuvi Gideon Kioko.
Okay. Which date?
16th, 4, 1998.
16/4/1998.
And there's a date of recapture, that is 17th, 11, 2000.
He was recaptured on the 17th day of November,
Yes,
2000.
Yes.
Okay. So you have elucidated a lot about the grounds that you have brought about. And to that particular extent, I will just ask you in passing, you have talked about diversion of funds meant for bursaries. Yes. Why do you blame the governor for that? How do you connect him to that?
The governor is basically the CEO. He oversees everything that takes place within the county.
Thank you. So there is the issue of the Dandora Stadium and the indictment by the PPRA. How do you connect the governor to that particular indictment?
Being the CEO and with several advisory opinions, both from technical team and from the PPRA, the only thing he could do was to save Nairobians by making sure that the stadium was done according to the specifications without giving in to the so-called cartels, by allowing them to change and vary documents at will. And I'll put it to you that remember when the verification was done, when the stadium was downgraded from the concrete, it was to steel, but still the cost remains the same, and the county government was able to lose colossal amounts of money.
Thank you so much. So in short, and in finalizing your evidence, in short and in one sentence, what will be your closing remarks based on the evidence that you've adduced?
Mr. Speaker, the only thing I can do is to request this Honorable House, as the defenders and the protectors of devolution, that I request you to rise to the occasion and ensure that devolution is actually defended and protected. And the only thing you can do to assist Nairobians who have really been groaning is by a way of ensuring that the monies that are being transferred for devolved functions are actually utilized for the same functions they have been made for.
And in reference to the impeachment?
Mr. Speaker, sir, one thing that we need to really put across is that we have put our case with very good evidences, and the only thing we'll request this Honorable House, please rise to the occasion, because it is your business. The County Assembly of Nairobi has done their part. They have tried and they have ensured that the governor becomes and is held accountable.
Thank you. And in terms of the evidence, the video evidence, documentary evidence that you've referred to, would you want those to be adduced as evidence in this particular motion, as your personal evidence?
Yes, definitely they are evidences, and we did bring them here yesterday, And each and every
We
member
object
of this
to that.
honorable House
Mr. Speaker, sir.
should admit them as evidences.
Thank you so much. You will be subjected to cross-examination. Mr. Speaker, sir, that will be the end of examination in chief.
Mr. Speaker, sir, before the closure of the examination in chief, I
Okay.
would like you to go on record. We have objected to the production of those documents.
Okay.
May I proceed? Mr.
Proceed.
Speaker, honorable members, good afternoon. Thank you on behalf of the governor, Mr. Ogada. Did you swear an affidavit before this honorable Senate to affirm what you are telling this honorable Senate that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swore an oath.
Where is your oath? Where is your oath?
I've just sworn an oath and it was taken over. It was taken by
Yes, please indicate. The longer you take, the longer we will take in this cross-examination. Please, you have taken 1 hour and 22 minutes. Allow us then to cross-examine you. Do you have an oath that you can pinpoint that you took?
Yes, Counsel, I have my statement, the witness statement.
What page?
Which oath are you talking about? I swore an oath here to
The
speak
fact
the
is-
truth, and that is it. And then I have a witness statement clearly indicated and filed.
Very well, Mr. Ogada. The fact is you have not sworn an affidavit, correct? You said in your evidence in chief that you made the statement on the 3rd of November 2020. Did I get you right?
And I've not mentioned that.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
That is
the
the
Hansard
day when the
could confirm that
impeachment took place.
you said in your introductory remarks that you made your witness statement on a certain date.
I did say we prosecuted impeachment motion on the 3rd of December, and that's what I said.
Therefore, your statement, which you've been relying upon, is not dated, correct? Mr. Ogada,
A personal statement
is it or is it not?
once signed, I think that's good enough.
It is not dated.
It is signed,
It is not dated, correct?
but signed.
Answer my question.
It is signed.
Now, do you have an equivalent statement, affidavit, or witness statement that you made before the county assembly on, before, or subsequent to the 3rd of December 2020?
That was a motion.
Listen to my question.
What I
Listen to
had-
my question, please. Please be
I will
categorical.
I will tell
Did
you.
you answer? Did you make a similar statement?
What I had in the county assembly was a motion, which I was
Please answer
moving.
yes or no so that we save time.
That was a motion.
Did you or did you not have a witness statement or an affidavit?
That was a motion.
Allow me to ask the question.
witness statement could
Mr.
not.
Ogada,
Yes.
allow me to ask the question. On behalf of the governor, please. Show respect to Mr. Speaker and the honorable members of the Assembly. Kindly. They need to know. We need to know. Did you or did you not have a similar witness statement before the county assembly on, before, or immediately subsequent to the 3rd of December 2020?
I had a motion. that
Listen to
I
my
moved
question
in
again.
the assembly.
Mr. Speaker, sir, this witness is being dodgy, and the longer we take with these sort of responses, the more difficult it becomes for us then to make useful time of what is actually limited
Additionally,
time.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it would be important that the witness be protected from the harassment. He's answering the question. He has answered that question several times.
May I ask you again, did you or did you not have a witness statement before the county
I've
assembly?
said I did a motion, and that is actually the procedure.
I will
We
come to
don't
your
do
motion.
Statements. We don't do statements in the assembly.
I will come to the motion. Please allow me. Mr. Ogada, do you or do you not have?
That's not the procedure of the county assembly, to have statements, do motions.
What is a provision that you are relying on? Which standing order? Mr. Ogada? Mr. Ogada, you should not
Relax,
then
take
be
your
looking at
time.
that. No, I'm asking you because you're a witness and your advocates there are assisting you. You are a witness. You want the governor to lose his seat on account of your evidence. And that evidence was not, listen to my question please, Mr. Ogada, so we save the course. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to demonstrate utmost respect to your seat. I'd like to demonstrate the utmost respect to honorable members. And the longer this witness does not answer the question, the longer it takes for us to move forward. That question is relevant to the governor because he lamented he had never been served with any statement of a similar nature. I will take it that the witness has declined to answer that question. Honorable members, that bears relevance. Mr. Ogada, if you look at your statement, it is addressed to the Senate and the Honorable Speaker. Is that correct? Page
Yes.
1.
Yes.
There is no...
What's your point of order, Senator Nyamunga?
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I think that as we continue with the proceedings, the lawyer to the governor should be addressing you and not addressing the witness. I think that's a bit of intimidation, and the procedure of the House is to address the chair.
Okay, yes, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Member, I did not mean to intimidate because Council was looking and addressing the witness for the County Assembly. I'm only doing that. Thank you very much. Are you familiar with Standing Order number 67 of the County Assembly Standing Orders?
Yeah, that's the procedure
You are?
for removal of government.
I'm asking if you're aware, you're familiar with.
It must be. Yes, I am.
Now, it is required that the notice of motion shall be signed by the member who affirms that the particulars of allegations contained in the motion are true to his knowledge, to his or her own knowledge, and the same verified by each of the members, consisting at least a third of all the members of the County Assembly.
Yeah, sure.
You look at your motion, dated the 25th of November 2020. You signed it?
Yeah, sure.
Part of your documents. Did you sign it?
The motion, the notice of motion to the Speaker was signed by me.
You signed?
Yes.
Does
the
it
notice of motion.
contain an affirmation that what is there, the particulars of allegations contained in the motion are true to your knowledge? Does it contain that?
Yes, it has.
Show us. Show us where it contains that. There is nowhere in your notice of motion containing that affirmation. Is that correct? Mr. Ogada, you have not answered my question. You're being dodgy. Is it not true that His Excellency the Governor on the 23rd of November complained about you embezzling Nairobi City County funds on account of a trip that you were to make to Dubai, but you did not travel?
I think that is an irrelevant question.
No.
because-
Answer the question, yes or no.
You listen to me when I'm talking.
You answer.
What I'm saying, that is an
Let's-
irrelevant thing. Those are sideshows.
Mr.
I've
Speaker,
just said
sir,
he was paid 300 million
I'm
in
only
the
asking
county.
a question.
And
I ask the same way the county assembly.
Order. If you talk at the same time, I'll not be able to
Thank
follow
you.
what you're saying. So let's
Mr.
be
Speaker,
slow
sir,
and
my objection.
a bit systematic.
I beg
Okay.
that this witness, we let him be asked all manner of questions. And the only interruptions were implicating what is actually before you, no more than 4 interruptions. This witness, instead of answering, is saying, we're being dodgy. I ask, is he in a particular way aware that this was lodged against him? If he can answer us, we'll be very brief. Mr. Ogata, let me repeat my question so that, Mr. Speaker, we can save time. It is true that there was, in fact, a complaint made against you by His Excellency the Governor on the 23rd of November 2020 with the DCI that you had received money in purported travel to Dubai, but you never traveled.
Mr. Speaker, I think that is a side issue and an irrelevant issue to this House. Number one, the issues of impress he understands, and as a lawyer is supposed to understand it. And I think that is totally outside what we are doing here. That's an irrelevant thing.
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a relevant question. It goes to motive. It also goes to character. Sorry.
What's your point of intervention, Senator Linturi?
Mr. Speaker, I am kindly asking to protect the lawyer of the governor when he's asking questions, to make sure the questions being asked are answered. Because the question that is being raised has serious dimension on his character, his integrity, and if we can do that, then what is this Senate? How is the Senate required to trust him or believe what he says? So it is important for him to answer. That question is important.
Okay, try as much as possible, the witness, to answer what you are asked as precisely as possible.
Mr. Speaker, the issue is raising over trip to Dubai. I've been a member of the County Assembly for years, starting from being a councillor. Nothing has been raised against me. I've never been involved in any criminal activities. Neither have I been arrested. And in any case, an impressed over safari in the month of December. I know the issue is I was prosecuting this case so that I can travel, but I think they are trying to make it to look as if I did not travel. That is not true. That's not the case.
Very well.
And the issue of impressed, we understand, according to the policies, you have to surrender it within 12 months. So I think within a week it is something which is...
What's your point of order, Senator Olekina?
Speaker, this is the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, and we are performing a very, very important function. We're here to defend the interests of counties and their governments. I think it would be proper that when the witness is responding to questions and to substantiate, because I've just heard the witness saying, and I just had to interject here, that the issues of impress, you surrender impress within 12 months. And the PFM Act is quite clear, it is within 7 days. So, Mr. Speaker, if the witness can respond to the question as asked by the lawyer, it will help us. Because for us, we are listening and we want to follow. At first, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to know whether the statement was signed. I'm still at lost. So it would be proper for us to know, even the character of the witness, whether this is actually true. Because we can be fabricating things here, or we can be confused in following the procedures. So, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to request that you direct the witness to respond to questions as asked, so that we can follow. We are not being able to take notes.
That is what I have directed. But in any case, whichever answer he gives, it will assist you to make your opinion on how the witness is. If he's not responding to what has been asked, take note, and you'll raise it when the time comes when we are making our judgment.
Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the County Assembly, maybe we'll seek your indulgence and guidance as to when the character evidence is called into question. The rules of evidence are very clear, Mr. Speaker, and the Evidence Act bears as witness that the moment you open up to the character of a witness, then it also invites your character to be put into question. We were told, and you gave a ruling, that we shall not have an opportunity of cross-examining the governor. So where shall we rebut the character evidence of our witness if in reciprocation we shall not have the governor on the stand? There must be equality of arms, Mr. Speaker. If character of evidence is called into question, we must be given an opportunity to rebut it.
Proceed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, sir, this honorable House, honorable members, you are treated to an array of clips and audio tapes. And this witness said that look at the character of the governor. We assault him on that score, but he is not prepared, honorable members, Mr. Speaker, sir, to answer the issue about his own conduct at the county assembly being referred to the DCI on account of his embezzlement of money. And he says a sideshow, that is his response. Mr. Speaker, sir, we must, like they say, have equality of arms. Thank you.
What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
My learned friend Haron Kinyanjui is a very experienced lawyer. I would want to encourage you. Cross-examine the witness. Don't engage in arguments with him. Ask him questions, wait for an answer, and move on. Because when you engage in an altercation with a witness, both of you look like you are not in a court of law. So just ask him questions and don't bother drawing conclusions for us. We shall draw them. You are here to ask questions to the witness and find out what you want to find out to help the House.
Thank you very much.
Counsel?
Yes, let me proceed. Mr. Ogada, it is true that you received 823,324 to travel to Dubai on a trip on 23rd of October 2020. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
Mr. Ogada, you received from the Nairobi City County Assembly 823,324 to travel to Dubai.
Just answer, is it yes or
yes. No? Mr. Ogada, did you travel to Dubai?
Let's proceed to the other thing.
Mr. Ogada, did you travel to Dubai?
Your mic has a problem because we can't.
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is we are engaging in a sideshow. That's a sideshow.
Just answer the question and we will go.
Yes.
Just answer the question so that we are able to make progress.
Mr. Speaker, as a vice chair of Budget Committee and the members of Budget Committee, we were given a trip to travel for a study to Dubai. And because of the engagement, I did a letter to the Chief Officer Finance asking him that I will be attending the next meeting because I was totally engaged on the case in front of us. So I did not manage to travel, but we agreed that I will be traveling for the next training.
Mr. Ogada, those are public funds that you received for a specific trip. You've accused His Excellency the Governor, while standing there, that he misused public funds. He pocketed, allegedly, public funds. And allegedly he's facing criminal offenses for public funds. You yourself, have you returned a penny of that money for not traveling? I think, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have all these whispers going on there with Mr. Njiro. I'll beg your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, I want to repeat this again. This is a very important procedure or process in the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. The question is, should a witness be assisted by the attorney? I mean, every question, the witness is seeking clarification on how to answer the question from the lawyer. Should that proceed really as that?
But that the attorney is there to assist the...
No.
Yes, Senator Langat.
I tend to think that to allow us to move on, I tend to think that some questions require only yes or no, and it's so simple that does not require any consultation from somebody. And this is something that, did you go? It is yes or no, because you could not ask, did I go? So it's so simple.
Witness, I have directed that you answer the questions that you are asked. Give any answer, leave the conclusions to the court. The senators will get, this is unanswered. We will look at what you responded to, and that will assist us in arriving at a conclusion. So just answer what you can answer, what you cannot answer, say you're not able to answer, so that it's also on record.
Much obliged.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg.
But again, Mr.
During cross-examination, my learned friend, Mr. Njiru, should stay put. He will assist his counsel, his witness, in re-exam, if any. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've only asked 4 questions in a space of 22 minutes. Yes, Mr. Ogada, have you returned a penny of that money?
Senator Mogeni, what's your...
Mr. Speaker, you know, we are doing...
You are off the record.
Am I off? Yeah.
You are, okay.
Mr. Speaker, as Senator Rengo rightly put it when we began these proceedings, these are time-bound proceedings. And looking at the demeanor of the witness, if it takes 5 minutes to answer one question, which requires yes or no, we may never come to an end to these proceedings. I urge you, Mr. Speaker, to remind the witness that we don't have the luxury of time. When he's asked, if you ask me whether I've refunded money, I'll tell you yes or no. Then we'll draw conclusions ourselves. But you should not take 5 minutes to answer a very simple question. It's not fair.
But Mr. Speaker,
proceed, let's proceed. Let's minimize the interventions.
Only one guidance, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
That Mr. Kinyanjui does not appear to approbate the witness, so that the witness can stick to the relevancy of the question before the assembly.
The relevancy will come in submissions, Mr. Speaker. I think Mr. Njiri is interrupting me endlessly, and I stand guided. Have you returned a penny of the money that you took from the county assembly?
No.
Mr. Ogada, you have therefore unlawfully appropriated 823,000 from the city county assembly. That's correct?
No.
Mr. Ogada, it is true that you have been summoned by the DCI to answer on these issues.
No.
Mr. Ogada, are you aware that the alleged motion which you based your impeachment proceedings upon was not a live motion because it was an earlier motion by Honorable Peter Imwatok dated the 20th of February 2020 to impeach the governor?
These are totally different motions. It's not the same one.
You look at the date of your motion. What is it dated?
The motion was on 3rd of December.
The motion is dated 25th of November 2020. Mr. Ogada, that's correct? That's correct.
That's notice. That's notice of motion.
The notice of motion.
Motion was done on 3rd.
Yes. Yeah. Did that notice of motion have any other document accompanying it when you lodged it?
Yes, we had the signatures of the members.
The signatures of the members.
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that before this Honorable Senate?
Yeah.
Yes, Senator Omogeni.
Maybe I should assist counsel for the governor so that we don't waste a lot of time. All those documents are in this file, including the signatures and the dates.
Yes, I wanted the witness.
This particular file.
Yes, I wanted the witness to affirm that because that came from the speaker. And from him, I wanted him to pinpoint to us his own document. The Speaker of the Nairobi City County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are two sets of signatures required in an impeachment motion. That's why I'm asking. The first set is for the 1/3. The second set is for the 2/3 majority. Mr. Okumu, do you have your impeachment motion accompanied by any other document other than itself?
Mr. Speaker, sir, the procedure for a notice of a motion is a third of the members, which we duly did and forwarded to the Speaker. We met the threshold. The rest is for the Assembly.
Yes, Mr. Okumu, are you familiar with Standing Order number 67, sub 67.5 of the Nairobi City County Assembly Standing Orders, which requires signatures in support of a motion for removal of governor by impeachment to be provided?
Yes, I am aware.
Yes. Do you have that having an open space against each name for the purpose of appending the signature? Do you have that?
Mr. Speaker, mine was to Speaker of the County Assembly. He looked at as per the standing orders were met. And that is why we prosecuted our motion in the Assembly.
Now, did you furnish with the governor your evidence?
Mr. Speaker, to the best of my knowledge, the governor was furnished with all the necessary documents he required at that time.
Are you familiar with Standing Order number 72.2 of the County Assembly Standing Orders? Read it. Please save the time.
The person being removed from office shall be availed with the report of the select committee together with any other evidence adduced and such note or papers presented to the committee at least 3 days before the debate on the motion.
Did you have a select committee on your motion of impeachment dated on 25th of November 2020?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have just answered and said, as of the requirement, I met the requirements. All the other procedural issues were done.
Do you have a special committee report? Do you?
Mr. Speaker, all the documents from the County Assembly were forwarded to them, and others were forwarded to the Senate.
Therefore, it is your supposition that what Mr. Speaker, sir, has is a sum of the documents in totality for the impeachment motion from the Nairobi City County Assembly. Is that correct?
Having met the requirements and the procedures?
Please answer yes or no. The totality of the documents which were submitted by the Speaker of the Nairobi City County Assembly are all that there is concerning your motion.
Because that...
No. Yes or no, please. Honorable
Mr.
Senator
Speaker,
Omogeni has asked you Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm just only reiterating what
Order.
an honorable member has said.
Let's not talk at the same time, so that
Yeah.
I may be
Mr.
able to
Speaker,
follow.
if he allows me to answer, then that's good. What I'm saying is that the work of a motion mover, once I've met the requirements, the threshold, and we've done it in the Assembly, the issues of communicating with the Senate is basically the work of the Speaker. So whichever documents he forwarded, those are the correct documents.
Mr. Okumu, so you have no proof that the document you allege was served on the Speaker in compliance with Standing Order number 72-2 of Nairobi City County Assembly Standing Orders?
I don't have to have a proof because...
Listen, please answer yes or no, kindly.
Both the Senate...
Do you have any proof?
Both the Senate and the County Assembly knows the requirements.
Mr. Okumu, do you have proof?
That's actually the work of the Speaker and the clerk.
Counsel,
thank you.
Allow him to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That's basically the work of the clerk of the County Assembly, the Speaker, the clerk of the Senate, and the Speaker of the Senate. That's actually not my work.
Mr. Okumu, you are reference all these documents. By example, look at your ground 1, volume 1 file, thick blue file. Did you furnish this bundle on the governor?
Which page are you referring to?
No. Please give him and sit down, kindly. Did you furnish the governor with your volume 1 bundle file?
Yes, we did, and that is why you...
Excuse me.
We did.
No, not for these proceedings. We are still at the County Assembly proceedings.
Mr. Speaker...
Listen to my question so that we save time. Did you furnish the governor with this bundle?
Mr. Speaker, we gave the governor all the necessary documents.
Do you recall when you gave him?
That is in the records of the County Assembly.
So you have no proof that you gave him?
Was given.
Now, as at the time you are making your impeachment motion, this was supposed to have been accompanying your own file. Is that correct? Your motion? These documents in volume 1.
Mr. Speaker, and that is why I talked about them, because they were there.
They were there.
Yes.
Now you recall that your motion is dated the 25th of November 2020.
Yes.
Mr. Ogada, look at page 465. Page 464, volume 1, and 465. Mr. Ogada, it is perjury, it is wrong, and it is against God's will and dictates and commands to lie. Look at page 465, page 464, and page 465. Volume 1. Therein is a copy of a court order in petition E371 of 2020. Would you confirm that it is dated the 30th of November 2020? Mr. Ogada, would you confirm at page 464 and page 465, 404 and 405. I apologize, Mr. Speaker, sir. Page 404 and page 405 of volume 1, the blue document. You do confirm that that is an order issued by the High Court in petition E371 of 2020. It is dated the 30th of November 2020. Would you confirm that?
Yes, I can see.
And so it is a lie when you allege that on the 25th of November 2020, you lodged these documents and furnished the governor with them. Mr. Okumu, please answer the question as per the speaker, Mr. Speaker's direction so that we move forward.
Yes, I can confirm we gave the governor all the documents that he
I
required.
am referring to page 404 and
Order,
405.
Senator
Yes.
Wako, what is your intervention?
Thank you very much. I think we should all remember that this is not a court of law. although it's a quasi-judicial proceedings, it is not a court of law. That's number one. And therefore, we should confine ourselves to the issues at hand. That's number two. The line of questioning that I'm now hearing, you should first of all establish whether this witness under the standing orders of the county assembly, what he is asking, is it a responsibility of this witness, or is it a responsibility of the clerk or the speaker of the county assembly? And it's also to be questioned whether that document was there, whether it's not there, and so on. It is not, to my understanding, a leader of minority. It is normally you leave it to the speaker and the clerk to forward the documents to up here. And when they come here, you can really grill them on that one.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
The fourth one, in order to save time, is that some of the issues, whether a document is there or not, the documents speak for themselves, and is something that can be mentioned in submissions. I'm just saying this because of the time factor. You know, I know my learned friend. He can question you for 2-3 days. And so if you can just limit to the issues at hand and realize that this is a quasi-judicial proceedings and not a proceedings in a strict, in a court of law. These are not criminal proceedings, if I may say so, and these are not civil proceedings. It's quasi-judicial, which more or less says, without undue regard to technicalities, focus on the issues at hand.
Yes, it's true. Senator Chararige, what's a brief one so that we have less than 1 hour for
a brief one, Speaker. I think my learned senior, the AG Emeritus, should have followed the thought of questioning. Because if I had correct, the counsel for the governor was questioning just before at the level of county assembly. He was not questioning at the tail end where it is here. So I think it is important we also follow so that we don't get misled. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator Haraki.
Mr. Speaker, we need your guidance. This being a non-judicial process, perhaps what you need to remind honorable members as jurors, what we need to remind ourselves as senators, and perhaps from your chair, is that the kind of interruption and the kind of vested interest would have disqualified us to be even anywhere near as jurors. So perhaps maybe what we need to do, and because we're being watched, is for us to show impartiality as we listen, so that then our vested interests don't seem to come to the fore as it is doing now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, order. I think we need to. You are off record. Order, you are off record. You are off record. You don't have the mic. Order, take your seat. Honorable Senators, I did mention, order, members. I have not even said anything. I want to say something you are saying I cannot allow. What do you know? How do you know what I'm going to say? So I was saying, like I did indicate in the morning, we are a jury and we must try as much as possible to do a lot of listening, and then we will have our opinion when we meet and look at the evidence that we would have gotten from the listening. So let us try to minimize the interjections, and like we said, we are time bound. Proceed, Council.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Why don't we allow the... Okay, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, we are here to listen, and that's why we want the questions to be asked so that we can follow. Somebody should not assume any role. We are here to listen. Mr. Speaker, you learn a lot by listening. That's why I'm here, keenly listening. So any question that we can ask, We are here to listen, and that's why we set this day to listen so that we can be clear in what is being discussed, Mr. Speaker. We will make decision after listening, but somebody cannot insinuate about any sinister motive, about anything that somebody asks. We are here to listen.
Let us listen.
Even watching videos, we can still watch videos.
Okay, let us listen. Council, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. But just in a second, with tremendous respect to my very senior, able legal senior, Honorable Senator Wako, the basis and the contextual order in which I was asking that question is because Mr. Speaker, sir, made a ruling pursuant to your Rule 29. I had made a request for invocation of Rule 19 for the rejection of these documents. The thrust, therefore, of my cross-examination is to demonstrate, using their own evidence by the County Assembly, it was not feasible to have a document dated 30th of November on the 25th of November to proceed with the impeachment. And therefore, I have supported that, and that was the basis and the context. In other words, the subsuming of my PO into the main hearing, is it in deference to your ruling, Mr. Speaker, sir? Honorable members, I don't wish to vex you. I beg your patience.
Only one thing, Mr. Speaker. The evidence that Mr. Kinyanjui is seeking to lead the witness to is actually placed contextually in a PO. So, and you did give your directions in the morning that these matters shall be argued concurrently. So, when Mr. Kinyanjui coerces a witness in that manner,
coercing.
And in
Allow
a
me
manner,
to proceed with respect. I'm not
Mr.
coercing your
Kinyanjui,
witness.
I'm on my feet, Mr. Kinyanjui, if you may.
Okay.
So, Mr. Speaker, the whole aspect is a question and the context of the matter before us, and that is what the witness is addressing. Mr. Kinyanjui is not even giving time to the witness to answer, even when the witness is candidly answering the question. He's just coercing him. We seek for the protection of our witness, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've been very patient with this witness. As a record, honorable members will bear me out. Let me proceed. Now, you do confirm that you also have other documents that are subsequent to, in their dating, the 25th of November 2020 in your bundles.
Mr. Speaker, as I had said, the work of filing documents with the Senate is basically the work of the clerk of the County Assembly, and they did file the documents which were necessary.
You are aware that you have orders that were actually in consequence of the proceedings in the High Court touching and implicating the NMS. Is that correct?
NMS, yes.
And those orders were issued subsequent to your motion of impeachment. Is that correct?
Mr. Speaker, since I'm not the legal officer in the County Assembly, I might not know the cases which are in court. I was basically
Senator,
prosecuting.
There's an intervention from the leader of minority.
Standing up because of what I had raised earlier. You know, for the case of the County Assembly, they have hardly 1 hour, and they got 2 witnesses. And Mr. Kinyanjui, the way I look at the evidence which is on record, probably he needs another 2 hours to cross-examine. So unless the problem is that we did not have a pre-trial process, so that the agreed documents and even for Mr. Kinyanjui, may I suggest, he may find at the tail end he has not dealt with the substantial issues and take all his time on procedural issues. So in a trial of this nature, and I wanted to propose to you that even the Evidence Act does not apply. The Evidence Act clearly states where that statute applies. Even in semi-judicial proceedings, I mean quasi-judicial proceedings, like the commissions of inquiry, you would find most of the time they state clearly that the Evidence Act will not apply. And in the Senate, the most important rule is the rule of relevance. That is a substantial rule, the rule of relevance. So long as you're relevant, even you, Mr. Speaker, cannot stop me. But because we are time-bound, and I pity both sides, because the case before us
Power, energy, and light. The mix that is the heartbeat of the economy.
Our energy mix is it's a balanced one. I mean, largely we still depend on, right now it's about 40 to 50% geothermal, and hydro is almost also 30 to 40%. Geothermal now is the lead in terms of the generation.
The lifeline of industrial and domestic energy sources.
Without energy, I mean, no activity can take place.
For more on your power needs and queries, TV47, in partnership with the Ministry of Energy, brings you a highly informative Energy Week, where you'll interact with the people generating, distributing, and pricing your electricity.
How cheap do you want it cheap? Because also the generation is expensive. We have to buy. KPLC has to buy. So, I mean, that's why the demand is still there. I mean, the demand is going up.
Power, energy, and light. The mix that is the heartbeat of the economy.
Our energy mix is it's a balanced one. I mean, largely we still depend on, right now it's about 40 to 50% geothermal, and hydro is almost also 30 to 40%. Geothermal now is the lead in terms of the generation.
The lifeline of industrial and domestic energy sources.
Without energy, I mean, no activity can take place.
For more on your power needs and queries, TV47, in partnership with the Ministry of Energy, brings you a highly informative Energy Week, where you'll interact with the people generating, distributing, and pricing your electricity.
How cheap do you want it cheap? Because also the generation is expensive. We have to buy. KPLC has to buy. So, I mean, that's why the demand is still there. I mean, the demand is going up.
Power, energy, and light. The mix that is the heartbeat of the economy.
Our energy mix is it's a balanced one. I mean, largely we still depend on, right now it's about 40 to 50% geothermal, and hydro is almost also 30 to 40%. Geothermal now is the lead in terms of the generation.
The lifeline of industrial and domestic energy sources.
Without energy, I mean, no activity can take place.
For more on your power needs and queries, TV47, in partnership with the Ministry of Energy, brings you a highly informative Energy Week, where you'll interact with the people generating, distributing, and pricing your electricity.
How cheap do you want it cheap? Because also the generation is expensive. We have to buy. KPLC has to buy. So, I mean, that's why the demand is still there. I mean, the demand is going up.
Power, energy, and light. The mix that is the heartbeat of the economy.
Our energy mix is it's a balanced one. I mean, largely we still depend on, right now it's about 40 to 50% geothermal, and hydro is almost also 30 to 40%. Geothermal now is the lead in terms of the generation.
The lifeline of industrial and domestic energy sources. This is TV47. Happy holidays.
Mr. Speaker, that this House must address itself to Standing Order 75-2, Mr. Speaker. And in addressing itself to that standing order, then we shall find the answer to what Senator Orengo has raised all the time. Mr. Speaker, that standing order provides in Section 2 that the Senate sitting in plenary, all special committee appointed under subsection 1 shall within 10 days A, investigate the matter, and B, in the case of a special committee or even the plenary then, report to the Senate on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations against the governor to have been substantiated. Mr. Speaker, the reason why I raise this matter is because consistently we have put ourselves in a straitjacket that we limit ourselves all the time to gazetting 2 days. To be, Mr. Speaker, given such bundles of documents this morning, listen to the evidence, and the standing orders are clear that after being provided by this evidence, we are supposed to investigate the matter and then report, even when we are sitting as a committee of the whole House, Mr. Speaker. And so, even as the matter is raised by Senator Orengo, Mr. Speaker, if we do not address ourselves subsequently to this issue, we shall never, in my view, be able to stand up and say that we have given the matter the adequacy of time and address that it requires, Mr. Speaker. And I think we would need to address that, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Murkomen.
Mr. Speaker, before I raise the issue I wanted to raise, and I'll need your attention, I suspect Senator Wamatangi has misapplied himself on the provision of Standing Order 75 because the 10 days are cumulative. That includes exchange of documents, it includes preparation of both sides. So 10 days is not for the hearing, it's 10 days cumulatively. So we are time bound, like Senator Orengo has ably canvassed here for the better part of these proceedings from the morning. The thing I want to suggest practically, Speaker, is for the council, and I think so that because we have only 1 hour, I think 1 hour, maybe 8 minutes, yeah, to complete this, the 4 hours. I want to say a suggestion from the council for the county government, if it's okay with you, to give you a suggestion on how you will share the remaining 1 hour, 8 minutes between his 2 witnesses. Then you can allocate for cross-examination a certain number of minutes to counsel for the governor. And the comfort, for the comfort of the counsel of the governor, they need to know that we are not in a fully court process. So all the information need not come through cross-examination. It can even come from a way of closing submissions. For as long as the information gets to these senators, nobody here is so stricto sensu following the issue of procedure. So that then we save time from, we are not a court of law where you follow whether the witness statement was verified or not. For as long as the information is submitted on both sides, it will be achieved. So, Speaker, because we have only 1 hour now, I've taken 1 hour, 7 minutes. How can they divide that time? Then we are sure that by 7:20, the 4 hours, when the 4 hours are over, they will have finished.
Because I can see the leader of majority also. That's the last one. So that we are going to what we said, that we shall end up talking ourselves.
Mr. Speaker, just practical things, Speaker. I've seen that the string of senators want clarifications of questions. There was a time allotted at the end of 30 minutes or so. Can we now assume, Mr. Speaker, that has been subsumed also because we are free to interrupt any time? We have taken a lot of time, which should not. We may assume that we have actually, we can run that program concurrently so that we don't have to wait at the end.
Okay. Yes, Senator Matang, please. Okay, please, we must proceed.
I'll be very short, Mr. Speaker. I don't understand when Senator Murkomen, Mr. Speaker, says that I've misapplied myself to that standing order. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that's something very simple. I've been a member of the committees that have, 2 committees that have participated in the impeachment of a governor. If this procedure started today, or the time, Mr. Speaker, and we gave this process to a committee, the committee would have had 10 days.
Oh, no, I think you're not getting it right.
Yes, Mr.
Speaker. That's not the position. Okay, Senator Olekina.
Mr. Speaker, I don't wish to differ with my leader of minority, but I just wanted to have this corrected, that although this is a political process, Article 96 mandates us to protect the interest of counties and their government. So the line of questioning should be relevant on procedures. So if there are things that are clearly being flouted, we need to be able to note them, so that when we sit down, we can actually be able to do our job properly, taking all matters into consideration. And then also, on the second issue, Mr. Speaker, on the point of order raised by Senator Matangi, it is quite clear. It says investigate. What time are we here to investigate? This information have got to be substantiated so that when we are making a decision, it helps us. Because, Mr. Speaker, there's no point of sitting here and rushing everything.
Let me,
let me finalize, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to finalize. There's no point of us rushing everything as if our minds have already been determined. It is proper for us to be able to do our job as we've been sent here by people in the counties.
Order, Senator. If you want to, you are talking, just order. You are talking and annoying yourself for nothing. If you are annoying yourself for nothing. The standing orders are very clear. If you want to change, we may appreciate that the time given to handle this kind of matter is not enough. So to address that, you must then look at the standing orders and maybe change the timings. By the way, the time is, we are time bound. Senator Mogeni, so that then they proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I want to make reference to the fifth schedule. Under Rule 22, time for senators to ask questions is limited to 2 minutes. But if you go to Rule 21, there is no capping of time for cross-examination. So, Mr. Speaker, there is a lacuna there and we need your intervention. My proposal, Mr. Speaker, is that you invoke Rule 29 and limit time for cross-examination. Because Rule 29, Mr. Speaker, says that where no provision has been made in the standing orders or in these rules, the Speaker of the Senate shall rule on the question or the matter, and the ruling of the Speaker shall be final. Mr. Speaker, unless you manage these proceedings, we will not be able to do it within the time permitted by our Constitution. So I urge you, Mr. Speaker, the way we are managing time for presentation of evidence, you also cap time for cross-examination so that we are able to do these proceedings within the constitutionally permitted time. Thank you.
Council, you have to wind up in the next maybe 10 minutes so that we get the other witnesses, or less.
That I have not had to cover on account of his intransigence, failure to answer, diversion, intervention of his counsel. It will be, with tremendous respect, unfair to the governor. He needs to demonstrate that this process is driven by something other than the truth. And honorable members, I beg you to allow me. 10 minutes will truncate in unfairness. I beg, Mr. Speaker, because I'm not the author of that eventuality. It is the witness. And the documents contained herein rebut his own case. And I was pointing those documents when he doesn't want to refer to them. Mr. Speaker, sir, if I may, with your kind permission, have an enlargement of that time. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, sir, it will be unfair because my learned friends had issues to cover. If you will note, Mr. Speaker, kindly, this witness was taken paragraph by paragraph, almost reading his own statement.
Okay, proceed. I'll give you. Okay. Yes.
I think our law and the Constitution has been built out on experience. In the United Kingdom, impeachment became so unpopular There was a governor of Bengal in India who was impeached in parliament for 7 years. The two parliaments had to sat through an impeachment process for 7 years. In the United States of America, impeachment took a similar direction because they preferred the plenary, like we have now. But out of practice, they've recognized that because council want to ask a lot of questions, they do it through committees. Although, the rules require that they do it through a plenary. But out of practice, they have found out in order to do justice, they do it through committees and then report to the House. Now, when we sit as a plenary, everybody's agitated, rightly so. But if each one of us has to undertake an intervention, and if every lawyer has to take the time that he wants to take, then he'll make the mockery of the rules and the County Government Act, which has, we are time bound. It reminds me of a petition of Martha Karua. It was delayed in the High Court and the Court of Appeal. But by the time he was appealing to the Superior Court, they said, you took too long. We have no jurisdiction because you're coming here too late. So what I'm begging, Mr. Speaker, is that to do justice to both parties, we cannot just rumble, because now we are just rumbling. And the county assembly, they are going to complain that they still have 3 witnesses. Now, what about if they apply the same rule on the other side and take the same kind of time? Then these proceedings will have to go beyond, Thursday, Friday. So I would still insist that you got to give us timelines from each party. Unfortunately, it's too late now. But probably I think the counsel for the governor should be given some time. I think it needs more time, considering the fact that the other councils for the county assembly took quite a bit of time. But they're going to pay for it because, the other witnesses are not going to have any time because they have consumed all their time on one witness. So there's a question of case management, which these are very senior lawyers. If you appear, we have a case before the Court of Appeal now. They have given us directions that we are not going to hear you. They have told us written submission 15 pages, and we are not being even allowed to address the court because of case management. But if you are rambling and we are saying we are a court, I don't think we are looking like a court anymore because of the interventions we are making. And it is very difficult to refrain from showing where your interest lies. That's why I would encourage the members of the Senate, we refrain from asking questions because already your interest is coming out and you're going to be the judge at the end. So you cannot be a judge, a prosecutor, and the executioner. It doesn't work that way. So let the counsel bring their questions, the witness give their evidence, but we have the last word. Not even you, Mr. Speaker. It is us with the last word. So I hope that probably we proceed in a more orderly fashion.
So, Council, I give you 20 minutes. Huh? Try in 20 minutes. Let's see how far we go.
I think these interruptions are what is causing this.
Order.
Only one thing, Mr. Speaker. When you give the directions for Mr. Kinyanjui, it's time to take, kindly consider also allocating us time for re-examination, whatever time that you may allocate, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You took a lot of time and your witness was there. Proceed, Council.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to congratulate your very honorable members here. Allow me just in 30 seconds to make a comment very weighty to what Honorable James Orengo, my very senior colleague. And I had made reference, an allusion to the impeachment bill, 2018. And I had taken the time to look at the Hansard, and Honorable Mutula Jr. had even made a commentary about that before your honorable members. And I had noted that had that impeachment bill, 2018, pursuant to Article 181(2), been legislated, honorable members, all these would be completely gone. Because I would have invoked Section 16, as read with Section 14 of that bill. But alas, the governor has been deprived of that instrumentality of the law. And yet, Schedule 5 gives 18 months from 2010 to pass that law. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, sir, I continue. Now, so that I can wind up. I can conclude my cross-examination. Mr. Ogada, you do acknowledge that you have documents here that are dated beyond the 25th of November, 2020, that could not have been tabled before the Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, what I said is that once we gave notice of motion, the other documents are tabled in the Assembly during the motion, and the motion was on 3rd of December. But the documents he has been showing me, all of them were documents of November. So we had the documents when I was prosecuting the issue.
Mr. Okumu, you are aware that the governor is entitled to a hearing before the Assembly?
Yes, I do.
You are aware that having not been accorded a hearing, it's unfair to him?
Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that he was accorded a hearing and a link was sent to him, and he opted not to attend. That's Speaker, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir, we had a video attached to the document affidavit of the governor, marked D, indicating that we had the governor's lawyers go to, if I could ask the ICT to play that video while I ask the next question. Now, you are aware, as we wait for that video clip to be played, that the accusations you have leveled against the governor concerning the NMS are the subject of a constitutional petition. Please answer yes or no. You heard the honorable members.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware about the constitutional interpretation that is required, but that is needed by the governor from the court.
You are not aware? Have you not annexed a single order in your documents, in the ones you're referring to?
One thing I know is
Mr. Ogada, please answer the questions. Let's
Mr.
be brief.
Speaker, yes, that's what I'm doing.
Have you annexed any documents about the orders in the NMS case?
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is that when the governor first went to court about the legality or trying to withdraw from the deed, there was a lifting by, I think, Justice Wasilwa, who lifted that order. So there was no order. So if he went to appeal, that is not.
Are you aware that petition E348 exists in the Constitutional Court about the NMS and its legality?
No, that one I'm not aware.
You're not aware? You have not annexed any document in connection of that?
I'm not aware about any case.
Look at page 402 of your volume 1. Page 402 of your volume 1. Page 402 of your volume 1. There is a copy of a court order from the Honorable Justice Mrima dated the 6th of November 2020. Would you confirm that at page 402 and 403? Volume 1?
Yes, there is.
You confirm that?
Yes.
Do you confirm that an order issued in Constitution Petition number E348 of 2020? You confirm that?
Mr. Speaker.
At the top, page 402.
Mr. Speaker, what I'm raising, I'm not a party to all those things is raising. What I can confirm to this Honorable House is that I actually raised the issue of him not signing the warrants because, you know, the transferred functions. We have the transferred functions. They have to be funded whether you are in court or not in court. The staffs must be paid.
All right, okay.
Whether you are in court or not in court.
Okay.
So it was not the issue of the constitutionality. Yeah.
Let me finish. We had asked for the video clip to be played of the governor in his witness statement from Mr. Moses Okerossi, if it could be played. As we wait. Now,
So mheshimiwa umekuja kupresent.
would you confirm that that video has been in reference to an appearance before the county assembly?
No, I don't. I can't confirm.
You cannot
because I've
confirm.
not heard anything.
Now, volume 3 of the document served on you, on behalf of the governor, volume 3, at page 585 to page 572, there is a response from the governor to your allegations, to the county assembly, in precision, rebutting all the allegations. Volume 3, page 535 to 572. Volume 3, the document marks D. Mark D has volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
Yes.
It has a blue cover, page 535. Now, that response is dated the 30th of November, 2020. On behalf of the government, page 535 to page 572, volume 3. That document is signed by Ondieki Advocate,
Yes, it is there.
and thereafter you will see page 633 to page 643. And the person who took the images, you can see, has sworn an affidavit to confirm that he actually was there on the material date, that is the 3rd of December 2020. Volume 3, page 535 to page 572 for the statement, and the images are at page 633 to page 643, volume 3. Therefore, it is not true to allege that the governor did not make an attempt to come to the county assembly on the 3rd of December 2020.
Mr. Speaker, what I can't confirm is actually what was transpiring on that particular day, because one, the video was not audible, I couldn't hear, and the other thing is that if he attempted to appear, then he must have been having the notice, and he was invited.
Now, have you seen the affidavit of Moses Okerosi, which is along the same volume 3? Have you seen it? Have you seen also the affidavit immediately after page 643 in volume 3, affirming that indeed they were there from 2 p.m. up to almost 5 p.m. and they were denied access to the Nairobi City County Assembly? Sorry, we go to volume 3, yes, page 633 are the images of showing them being outside the assembly, being blocked.
Yeah, I can see the photos.
You can see that. Yes. Now, if you go to volume 3 and page number 450, running all the way to page 522.
Yes.
There is a report there of an expert in handwriting refuting the signatures you are adducing that they had attained the majority. Page 450 is the affidavit of Emmanuel Kenga, a forensic document examiner, who has impugned your signatures.
Mr. Speaker.
You have seen that?
Yes, Mr.
You have
Speaker.
seen that? No, have you seen?
No, I've not seen it.
Mr.
Mr. Speaker.
No, look at page 450 of volume 3. Page 450 of volume 3. There is a sworn affidavit by Emmanuel Kenga, a forensic document examiner. And he has said he examined your signatures and he impugned them, some of which are a forgery. Have you seen that affidavit?
450 years, yeah, I can see.
Now you go to page 528. There is an affidavit of Moses Okerosi. Moses Okerosi swears that he took that document.
428?
528, volume 3, 528. He took that document to the county assembly on behalf of the governor and he was denied access. You seen that?
528. Yes, I can see this.
You can see that.
Yes.
528. So you can see His Excellency the Governor made every effort to be there on the material date, but he was denied access. He was denied audience. Now you also allege that the governor went to New York and got some payments made on his behalf. He has sworn an affidavit. At page 616, can you see a document there? Sorry, page, not 616, page 612. Page 614.
Mr. Speaker.
Can you see page 614?
Mr. Speaker.
Please allow me.
Mr. Speaker, for the record.
I want to conclude this.
Should you
You will have an opportunity to be re-examined. Have a look at that document.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Yes. One thing I can't confirm is what the photos speak to. So I cannot confirm that he tried to come. Number two, I've not said the governor was in New York. So those are...
Okay, you alluded to his wife and daughter being in New York.
That is not the governor, that's the daughter. I talked
The
about
daughter,
the daughter.
right? Okay, page 614, you see the document there from the Dominic? Page 614, volume 3, same volume.
614.
Yes. You see that?
Yes, 614 I can see.
You've seen that?
Yes.
Are you aware that the approval was actually from the government of the Republic of Kenya for the travel?
Mr. Speaker.
Are you aware, yes or no?
For an imposter.
No. Are you aware that that was sanctioned?
Because the letter that went to the government was that was a sub-county administrator, and yet the lady is not working with the county.
Do you have proof of that, Mr.
Yes,
Okumu?
we have documents.
Do you have proof of that?
We have documents.
You do not have anything you can pinpoint. Let's look at volume 2 so that we save time.
We
volume
have documents that effect.
Volume 2, let's go to page 297. Volume 2 of the governor's response affidavit, page 297. From page 297, running all the way up to page 311. Page 297 up to page 311. Are you there?
Page what?
297.
Yes, I can see.
You can see that?
Yes.
You can see there, those are images of your colleagues, honorable members of the Nairobi City County Assembly.
I can see some people tagged here.
You can see there.
Yes.
And up to the last page, 311, there are 57 of them in number. You can confirm that?
Yeah.
And you know that those same MCAs have each of them sworn an affidavit to say that they did not vote for the motion to impeach the governor.
Mr. Speaker, one thing we need to appreciate is that voting is online. So if any member sworn such kind of an affidavit, then they were playing you.
You can see at page 200, there are single affidavits running all the way up to page 260, page 277. 277. They have sworn each of them affidavits to say that they did not vote on that day. You can see that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Those are all affidavits.
I can see, and we also have affidavits of the same people saying these are not their signatures.
Right. Now, at
saying these are not their signatures. They
you
voted.
do not have that evidence before.
We have
this.
affidavits here.
Page
From the same
278.
people who
Page
signed
278. This was reported to the Kwale police station as impersonation. Do you see they reported that? There's OB number 55 of 3rd December 2020. You see that?
Mr. Speaker.
Do you see that? Just confirm yes or no.
Speaker,
do you see that? Evidence of
you see,
reporting that.
I really don't know how to answer yes
Okay,
and no.
now so that I
really
can,
need to be
so that I
given
can yield
to
my time.
explain myself.
Hold so that I can yield my time.
Mr. Speaker, one thing that we need to appreciate is that the said members of the County Assembly actually also reported to the police that they were kidnapped. They were invited to
Do you have the OB number for that?
in an house in Runda, and Prados came and they were being forced to tow into a Prado.
Mr. Speaker,
And
sir,
you could
I
not
would
alight.
like to save my time.
You could
I
not
would
alight,
like
so
to
definitely
play
there was a
video.
complaint.
Let him finish what he
Mr. Speaker, the same members are saying they were invited to Runda, and we have affidavits that they were going to be given 500,000 each. And with this kind of dry season, nobody could really. So when they went, the gates were locked. And the Prado started coming, and members too were being forced into a van. They were all being forced into vans because there were people who are really forcing them to enter.
Now, allow
and
me
these
then.
People, affidavits are there to that effect. Actually, them being in Kwale were against their wish, and that's why you can see most of them were tagged. In
Mr.
fact,
Okumu.
That's why they were tagged and given these numbers. Nobody could accept to carry a tag if there was no threat.
Mr. Okumu, none of this is in your statement. None of it. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to play a YouTube clip that I have requested the ICT on deepfakes. This witness played clips there on someone resembling Governor Mike Sonko without a certificate of authenticity. Deepfakes, from YouTube, I've requested, please, so that then I can.
The certificates are there, and besides that, the affidavits
now,
are on
let me
9F.
Just bring. Let me see those affidavits you're talking about.
You have the copy of the yellow document there.
Oh, that yellow. All right. Okay.
You said you are playing a video clip?
Mr. Speaker, sir, these are not dated. I have seen them in volume 1. Some of them are not dated. Some of them are not even having the names. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like just to draw your very kind attention to just one single of those affidavits so that we disabuse this Honorable House, Honorable members, of the allegation that indeed there are sworn statements. There are no such legally sworn affidavits. Mr. Speaker, sir, unfortunately the pagination is not proper. I can't see the pagination. The Honorable MCAs are here, Mr. Speaker, sir, as well, so that then we can see. There is the affidavit of David Ayoy. David Ayoy. Do you have it there with you? You see it's not even dated. And the pagination, page 14. Elizabeth Nyambura is here, and she has said that she never even affixed to such alleged signature. She did not. I am seeing Alvin also, Palapala. These are honorable members of the Assembly. I wanted to play that clip, and they are present. Those MCAs honorable MCAs are here. I wanted to play a clip, Mr. Speaker, sir, to negate those video clips. I beg, Mr. Speaker, sir, for an enlargement just of some little time, because it was unfortunate. Kindly, Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, bear with me. Thank you. The clip that I have with the ICT, I had requested that they play the video clip from YouTube on deepfakes, the one that, the source of it. Mr. Speaker, sir, if I may get your authority?
Yeah.
Thank you. The ICT, I had sent a link to YouTube. On YouTube, deepfakes, DEEPFAKES, fix, deepfakes.
Checking up there is like they are not able to.
They are not able to play it? Yes, while they are checking it, let me just ask two questions. Now, Mr. Okumu, you are aware that the county government mandates public participation, and you must give 5 days between the notice and the event. Are you aware of that? The County Government Act.
I'm aware, and it was done and put in the dailies.
Do you have proof of that?
They were in the dailies.
Do you have proof of that? Do you have proof
There
of
was-
that?
There was.
Council, maybe, whom did you give the clip? Because our records indicate that they don't have any clip from you.
It was a link that I had said. A link.
It was sent to who?
Mr. Speaker, sir, even for purpose of record, even us, we were never served with that link and that clip. That's new evidence being introduced on the bar.
I think with tremendous respect, I have referred the link. Let me get the link. I have referred to it in my volume. If he can just check.
It ought to be part of your evidence.
Yes, the video clip is part of the evidence, and this is provided by His Excellency the Governor. There is the link at page of TV 47, page 15, volume 1, paragraph 69. The link is there. Volume 1. Page 15, honorable members, page 15, volume 1, paragraph 69. The link is provided there. Volume 1, paragraph 69. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to confirm with you and honorable members that I'm not so dishonorable as to cite a link that I've not provided. I did provide. It's cited in paragraph 69. Page 15 of volume 1. I also did provide the clip. So as we wait for that clip, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to pursue that issue of public participation. You have seen the affidavit of Mr. Newton Munene, supplied as well with these documents. Mr. Newton Munene has, as the ICT officer of the Nairobi City County government, refuted and disputed there was such public participation as you suppose. Yes, I refer to his affidavit, which we had filed and supplied. Mr. Newton Munene, in paragraph 1, he says, I'm the current CC in charge of ICT department. He has sworn to it.
But for the purposes of public participation, did we have to go through CEC ICT? That was meant for the public. It was not for the CEC ICT.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think we are having challenge with that issue. I wanted to refute the allegation that there was a majority of the Nairobi City County Assembly members who voted for the purported impeachment. The threshold set in law was not set. That was the purpose of the clip. And as I was winding up, the clip is there, the link is provided. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, sir, I find myself accosted with this handicap. And I had...
They are working on it.
They are working on it. While they are working on it, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to yield then to my learned friend, Mr. Nyamu, so that he can...
Mr. Speaker, you had accorded them an additional 20 minutes. We do not complain. It is our time that they are eating into, Mr. Speaker. By now yielding, it is actually abusing that accommodation that we even gave them.
Actually, Council, you've gone beyond the 20 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the occasion has a reason because honorable members wanted clarity. Honorable members are so respectable, I would not want to override that desire for clarity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am so subservient to your leadership. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, His Excellency the Governor is pressed to demonstrate in refuting the allegations against him. He has not stolen the money. That in fact the bursary funds were stolen by MCAs, and that documentation is here. And that was necessary to be provided.
That is what you should have started with, you know.
But the witness did not answer my questions. The witness was evasive, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I was never asked about bursary.
I think the clip is playing now. The clip is playing.
Members who are absent from today's sitting to access and vote on our behalf in absentia. We condemn this. Nobody has monopoly over this process. Let removal of the governor, equally the election of the governor, be a competitive process that is fair and square. We condemn this. This is an illegality. My party leader, you have been a victim before. Today Sonko will be a victim. Who knows 2022? Who again will be a victim? We condemn this. We anticipated exactly what we are doing. And we reported that the DCI the AB number, and we reported the DCI of an intention to commit a crime. This is an intention, but now they have committed a crime.
If they could reduce the volume just a bit. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir, I just want to make with the witness just 3 observations. You can see from that video clip your honorable colleagues on the material day of the 3rd of December 2020. You confirm? If they could mute, I had asked if they can do that. If they could mute. Oh, I had requested they mute, just the muting, so that the witness can see and confirm that that was the event he spoke of at the county assembly, contemporaneous with what was happening with the other MCAs that have said.
Mr. Speaker, one thing I can confirm is I know several members who are talking there, and alongside you can see me also prosecuting that case. That was actually not during voting. So during voting, they were not talking. So that is when they were voting. When they are shouting, I'm talking. So you can see. During voting, they were not shouting. If they would have been shouting during voting, that would have been a different case. But there, you see me arguing my case as they shout. So after they finished shouting, they started voting. And that's how it happened.
You confirm that you have no evidence they voted?
There is enough evidence. You have got Hansard and everything else. You have got enough evidence.
You confirm
Enough
that there
evidence.
is no Hansard before this honorable
We have enough
House.
evidence. Okay. Within this house.
Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to have 2 minutes with Mr. Nyamo to ask about the Dandora issue.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, you directed. Let us not abuse the privilege, Mr. Speaker.
They took so much time,
It is our
Mr.
time.
Speaker, sir.
Okay.
They will have their time
Let
tomorrow.
me give Mr. Nyamu 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Then I will manage your...
Okay. Yeah. Honorable Speaker, we have split the minutes into 2 and 3. I will ask a few questions, then my colleague will conclude. Just Mr. Okada, I know you are a very hard-working officer. I'm giving you a document. I'm giving you the auditor's report 2018-2019. Please look at that report. Look at that report, Mr. Okada, 2018-2019. It's a report from the Auditor General of Kenya. You got page 3 of the Auditor General's report.